Hi, I'm Brenda Reiss, forgiveness coach, and I'm coming to you to talk about family lines and how forgiveness can heal generations of our family lines. Now, 90% of all the issues that we have in adult life, they have found that they stem from, guess where? Childhood, aka the parents. And also, not only just our parents, but their parents and their parents and their parents. And also even the extended family and siblings are included in this influence, which is pretty amazing. Now, there is scientific evidence that shows that emotional pain not released is carried down in the genes from generation to generation. They actually have that proven now. And that means that we could be experiencing pain as far back as at least 7 generations. That's crazy. That means I'm not only carrying my crap, but I'm carrying other people's crap too. That's not even mine. Families, as you know, can be toxic. I know that's a news flash, but they can be, or maybe some still are very dysfunctional. And in that dysfunction, there's usually alcohol and drugs and all kinds of abuse that take place. And then there's the family secrets and the taboo, right? Usually around those kind of abuse situations or toxic situations where they feel like their reputation is at stake. And we feel that we have to hold on to these toxic secrets and they get buried down inside of us. And, and we feel like we have to keep them. So these wounds that we suffered, as children, right? The different wounds from the dysfunction and the toxicity and the secrets, they may not now, some people have buried them so deep that they don't even quite remember them. They seem to have forgotten them. And which isn't necessarily true because they're just buried. And even though they hurt badly at the time, we go on because we have survival techniques and safety techniques like suppression and repression to help us go on in life. But they can't stay buried for a very long time. But these patterns or aspects of us that we try to cover up affect every area of our life. So what they do is they show up in who we are, and they have something to do with our self-worth. And they can determine how successful we are. They can determine our relationships, our work relationships, how we show up in the world, whether we're codependent or needy or passive or aggressive. And it plays a huge role that people don't realize. And becoming aware of these patterns is so important, and it's really key to our healing. And also really realizing that we don't need them anymore. They were survival techniques, and that we do not want to pass them on anymore, right? We don't want to keep this pattern going like we were subjected to. So no matter how badly we were hurt by our parents or situations, the forgiveness process can help us heal through that. That's what I have found for myself. And it helps us release the anger and heal the pain. And it also helps release those core negative beliefs that have really ran my life. Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. I have to work hard to get love. And I'm not going to be accepted for who I am. And just the one about working hard, how many of us have that? I mean, it's so crazy. And if we can see how these beliefs have gotten in the way of our relationships and our financial success and just joy in our life, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And we can see how forgiving our parents then and our siblings and extended family is super duper key to freeing us from these self-imposed limitations. And yes, they're self-imposed. We take them on, but it doesn't mean that we have to keep them. It's time to let them go. So if we look at these relationships as helping us learn the lessons, even the most painful ones, especially those ones that come from our siblings, I want to talk about that for a second. Our relationships with our siblings aren't separate from the family. And the grievance that we have with our siblings, they go back to childhood, most likely from the parental figures, okay? Because parents could have treated you differently, like they did mine, where there's jealousy, there's comparison, there's competition, there's rivalry. And there's this need for approval, right? We're always fighting for approval. I don't know if you guys had that, but we did. And then sometimes there's that favoritism that goes on from one sibling to another. And so where you can feel like you hate that sibling, even though it's not their fault that the parent did that, but we can take that on. So when we do the radical forgiveness process on a sibling even, what that can do is heal that family line. It can actually truly go back and heal that. And we don't even have to know what exactly the issue was about the parent, but it can heal that line. That's what's so powerful about it. Now, I want you to remember that keeping a grudge against somebody is not healthy. It's toxic. And it's not good for our well-being, let alone our health. And there's many, many studies out there that prove that. But when it comes to family, the ties are too strong, right, to ignore it. We can't ignore it. We try to stuff it, but it can't. It shows up in all sorts of health diseases, like cancer, like autoimmune, and there's so many others that it shows up in. So I want you to know that we can change the generational pain. We can change how we go forward from here. We have the power to do that. And so that way it doesn't get passed down from generation to generation. Our children won't have to deal with that. Okay? And so the radical forgiveness process helps us to release those stored negative feelings and energies and blocks. And that way we can just feel more peaceful, more harmony. And I think that's what we all need. Now, it's not the end goal, right, to like your family. Okay, that's not what this will do. It's not all of a sudden, because some people think that. They think all of a sudden it's going to be all roses. And that's not true, because we all are different people. But what I've seen it do, I've seen it change relationships. I've seen the parent-child relationship restored because the child, especially an adult child, is able to let go, is able to accept that parent, is able to come to the compassion and come to the acceptance of that the parent did the best they could, but they had to heal that wound, and they were able to do that. And I've seen siblings be able to be restored, the relationship they're restored, and also exes, that's the most common. And so this is powerful. So don't ignore it. So we can heal generational pain with forgiveness. If you have any questions, please let me know. Comment below. Thank you.